Hello, good evening. My name is Malik Sampson, and I'm here with you today from Brother Be Well as a content creator, and I'm an associate marriage and family therapist. And I'm here with you today to talk to you about anxiety disorder. And before I start getting to what anxiety disorder is, I just wanted you guys to know the disclaimer that again, this video is not intended to give you any full scope of what anxiety disorder is, and it's also not to diagnose or treat anxiety disorder. So, but instead to really give you kind of a brief overview, let you know what some of the key components are of the disorder and kind of how to spot some of these things. So, before we get into that even deeper, I just want you to know if you or anyone you know is going through a hard time, and are having any thoughts of suicidality or self-harm, please feel free to text the Help Crisis Hotline at 741-741. And in addition to that, please feel free to reach out to 911 or your local emergency center. And so let's get started on what anxiety disorder is. So anxiety in itself is that feeling of worry or fear or anything that is any type of feeling that is synonymous with that, and it's starting to affect your daily life. And that's when the anxiety disorder comes into play. It's when the anxiety has gotten to the point and strong enough to where it's affecting your day-to-day life. And anxiety disorders can show up in a lot of different ways. It's just some examples being panic attacks or obsessive compulsive disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder. All of these disorders have elements and components of anxiety. So it's really important to note that it's not one specific anxiety disorder. There's multiple. Anxiety can show up alongside a lot of other different types of symptoms and diagnosis. And the things that people may experience when they are going through, when they're dealing with an anxiety disorder or going through some of those symptoms are irritability, fatigue, sweating, and these like excessive sweating, lack of concentration, lack of sleep. These are just things that people may experience when they're having episodes of anxiety or they have a specific anxiety disorder in general. So these are things to stay mindful of, that if you're noticing these swift changes that these people are having, that this might be something that's going on. Also, it's other things that go into play too, that physical things that people kind of forget about when it comes to anxiety, because it's a mental health disorder. It's good to remember that there are physical components as well, that come from like not sleeping and it being like nausea and trembling when you're having different episodes or a panic attack. So it's important to keep mindful of that. And just some things that just two quick things you can do to kind of help reduce some of the anxiety if you're a person that are experiencing anxiety disorder is avoiding alcohol and avoiding caffeine as well, and like it just decreasing the amount of caffeine that you intake, because it does have a big role in anxiety. And lastly, as always, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to a mental health or medical professional, or if it's regarding your mental health. And again, my name is Malik Sampson, and brother, be well.